All right. Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Karli Barnett. I'm here at the First Alert Desk, and we want to give you a look at some of the stories that we've been working on tonight to give you a little bit of a look at what our reporters and our videographers are covering. And of course, you can join us for our newscasts as well. We will see you next again at 9 and 10, as well as 11, and we hope to see you there. You can also see a lot more on each of these stories at AtlantaNewsFirst.com, or if you have the Atlanta News First app, we have you covered pretty much everywhere you go. We are just a click away to keep you informed of all of your top stories and weather. Now, in just a minute, we're going to have First Alert meteorologist Patrick Pete joining us because, of course, it is the weekend. All eyes are on the weather and what we can expect, and we do have a First Alert in there, so you're definitely going to want to stay tuned to listen up for what he has to say. But in the meantime, I do want to give you a little bit of a taste of our top stories, and unfortunately, our first story that we want to point out tonight, this is a sad one. This is a beloved dog walker in Midtown was found dead. They are saying this is a mystery tonight. It's just a heartbreaking loss. Friends of Diego Christian say he was found unconscious on Tuesday morning along Piedmont Avenue. And at this hour, his cause of death is still unknown tonight. Diego Christian was a dog walker in Midtown for 20 years, so he really was just a fixture in this community. Those who knew and loved him told us that he was always the guy that had a smile on his face. There were flowers and a tribute poster sitting outside of his apartment just a few blocks up. We're told the 51-year-old, after a long day's work, would sit on the stoop and just greet people as they walked by. According to family and friends, Diego was found unresponsive around 6:30 Tuesday morning in front of Triple J's Pizza Bar on Piedmont Avenue. He was walking two dogs at the time, one of which belonged to Matthew Doyle. Matt had known Diego for nearly a decade. He even saved his dog, Griffin, once. He says there was nothing out of the ordinary when he dropped Griffin off with his friend on Tuesday morning.
As a Midtowner, seeing the overwhelming amount of support and love there is for him online right now, and the comments, reading the comments, you kind of realize that he meant so much to so many people, even if they didn't know him well. And so Diego was a fixture in the community because he was so present. He was always on the street walking the dogs. Everyone knew him by sight, and he was a nucleus of our community.
So certainly a lot of kind words to say about Diego Christian. Whether people knew him well or they didn't know him as well, it seems as though at least he was someone that people could say hi to all the time passing by. Of course, our dogs are our family members, so if this is a person that people are trusting with their dogs, certainly someone that they think very highly of. Again, at this point tonight, we have not heard of a cause of death. We are continuing to work on getting the facts of this case, and we'll bring you updates just as soon as we know more. Another investigation going on is one into the Fulton County Jail. The Department of Justice is actually going to be investigating conditions at the Fulton County Jail. Here at Atlanta News First, we have done several different stories regarding the conditions there and looking into those. So the newest information that we know is that the Department of Justice will be looking into some of those conditions and basically seeing what their thoughts are. Fulton County Sheriff Pat Labat, he was on the defense. He claims that he has control of his jails, despite the feds now investigating. He says that he's not the problem, but it's the justice system that's broken. Sheriff Labat did admit there are things he could do better, but he stressed the issues at the jail existed well before he took reins as sheriff, and he now says he welcomes help from the feds in fixing one of the county's most glaring problems. The DOJ is looking into the conditions, and they are trying to work with outside agencies to really shore things up. But basically, Sheriff Labat says at the end of the day, they need a new jail, and current cost estimates are $1.68 billion. Critics say if you can't take care of the current facility, then why should you get a new one? But Sheriff Labat stressed this new jail would allow them to implement the important programs and mental health care that he says could help fix the justice system.
We have to change the culture, and that is from a community perspective. The system is broken, right? In Fulton County, we have a number of unindicted cases. You already know that piece, and we have to figure out how to churn through the system and churn through the cases more quickly.
So we will keep you updated on what the Department of Justice ultimately finds from this investigation, what they are looking for. We will bring you those answers and bring you their thoughts, as well as what ultimately could happen to the current Fulton County Jail. Well, there is a Henry County deputy that found himself on the other side of a traffic stop. This actually happened back on June 20th, but we are just getting body camera video of that encounter. What we learned is that a Henry County police officer pulled over a Dodge Charger going 96 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour zone. That was on Chambers Road. And you can imagine the surprise when he walked up to the car and recognized the Henry County Sheriff Chief Deputy Michael Yarborough. Now, we are just seeing this body camera video. The officer actually goes back to his cruiser to ask for guidance on certainly an unusual situation.
Hello? Guess who I just pulled over?
Who?
Yarborough.
Who?
Yarborough.
Really?
Yeah, the chief deputy driving a Dodge Charger, a souped-up Dodge Charger belongs to the sheriff's office. I just clocked this son at 96 in a 35.
Well, as you can see from this video, he is actually pulling over this chief deputy and ultimately gives him a citation. And the result was that the chief deputy is going to be suspended without pay for 40 hours. And the sheriff in Henry County said that was because of the severity of the speeding. He was clocked at going more than double the speed limit. Again, this was in a 35-mile-per-hour zone, and he was cited at going 96 miles per hour. The sheriff's office says that he was on duty, but he did not have his lights or sirens on. Now, before we move on to weather, we've told you about some news stories. I just want to end your Friday on a little bit of a lighter note because why not? We can always use some cute animal videos, and I want to pull that up for you here. This year's Comedy Pet Photo Awards finalists are in. Take a look. They're so cute. It was just actually announced earlier today. 25 were selected. We've got a grumpy cat here. You know, you've got dogs jumping on the beach, or jumping into a hole on the beach, I should say, lounging in the sun with some pretty cool hairdos. So I don't know how you could possibly pick a winner, but Savannah, Louie, and I were talking earlier, and we think that they should probably just make a calendar with all of the pets. Then that way everybody's a winner. We have everyone in the newsroom here watching too, because this one, this is a cute one. Patrick was actually saying earlier that he thought this dog looked like it had a wig on, but that is just the dog's beautiful, beautiful flowing hair. All right, speaking of Patrick, we're going to take a look outside. Looking kind of cloudy out there, but got a nice little view of the sky view there, lighting things up. And we're getting ready for the weekend. And of course, we would love to see some nice weather this weekend, but there's a first alert in the forecast, Patrick. And yeah, at least we're going to have a pretty good Sunday, you said, but I don't know about our Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday's going to be a little bumpy, Karli. I don't think the whole day is going to be a waste, but as we head into the afternoon and evening, we are going to have some shower and thunderstorm opportunities, which is going to make a little bit of a mess of any of your plans to be outside. I know that, my Saturday is a day to try to get by the pool, although I will be here with you all tomorrow evening. But I may get out early before the showers and storms and do a nice little run. So hopefully you guys are having a fantastic evening out there. Thank you for joining us. It's Friday night. I know there's a lot of other places that you could be other than here with us, and we thank you. So let's break down your forecast so that you can get out of the door. And we do have a first alert for tomorrow, as Karli said. Afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. Some of those storms could be on the strong to severe side. So we're watching and giving you that heads up already now. We will trend drier on Sunday. We're still going to be hot, still going to be humid, but at least you're going to be able to get outside, get out and about. As we extend out the forecast, we're really just going to find ourselves in a very hot pattern. Middle end of next week, it's just not going to be nice. Thankfully, we're going to see the dew points come down a little bit, so that means it's not going to be quite as humid, but nonetheless, hot is hot. It's July, and it's about to be even hotter. So let's get you through the weekend forecast. Here's that level 1 out of 5 risk for strong to severe storms. It's mainly for areas north of I-20. We're talking about damaging wind gusts, frequent lightning, heavy downpours, and hail being possible in any of these thunderstorms that tap into all the energy that's out there. And you know that it is very juicy outside. You can feel it when you step outside. So expecting things to be pretty quiet for the morning for everybody that's looking to maybe get out and train for those marathons that I know so many of you are running. Maybe you're hitting the links, or maybe you're going out to get donuts and some Waffle House. Either way, looking pretty good. As we head into the afternoon, that's where our attention turns to Alabama, because that line of showers and thunderstorms that you see building in from the west will gradually shift towards the east as we head into the afternoon, and that's why we're first alerting. We think that most of that energy will move roughly in between 4 and 7. By 8, it's pushing on out. There will be some residual moisture on the backside, so we're going to keep rain chances around through the overnight, but expecting things to dry out early Sunday. So here's that hour by hour forecast so that you can plan ahead. And as I said, the morning is going to be the time that you can get out, and it's going to be on the drier side, partly cloudy. Clouds increasing, especially as that system moves into our region through the afternoon. Temperature still getting into the 90s for a few hours, and then your Sunday forecast trends a little bit drier. So we're talking about mainly sunny skies, warm numbers for folks that are heading out to church early in the morning. And if you were doing a little brunch afterwards, we're already in the mid 80s. There are some spotty showers, an isolated rumble of thunder, but you can see it's not everywhere, not enough to cancel your Sunday fun day plans. It's going to be hot, humid, feeling like the lower 90s with temperatures hovering near 90 for most of the afternoon. And then we clear out as we head into the evening, which is going to segue into some drier air building in to start off the week. Now, drier air does not mean cooler air. Drier air means it will not be as moist, it will not be as humid, but it will be hot because this dome of high pressure that's over the central, south central and southwestern portion of the country will gradually shift towards the east as we head into next week. And that is really going to cook us. It's going to bake us. It's going to be simmering out there. And we're going to be talking about temperatures that are going to be hovering in the mid to upper 90s, roughly 5 to 7 or 8 degrees above average as we head into next week. So the bar is 90, but you can see that warm up once we get to Monday, climbing into the mid 90s. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 96 degrees, with some locations getting a degree or two warmer than that. It's just going to be brutal, so just be prepared for it. And PSA, just because there's been a lot of this, I think the most recent case was last week, or actually this week in Idaho, of a 2-year-old being left in the car of in the backseat of a car, and unfortunately that 2-year-old did not make it. So this is just a heads up. These are things that we should already be practicing because it's summertime. We've already had this rustle with the 90s, and we know that when it's 90 degrees outside, 85 degrees outside, it does not take long for your vehicles to heat up. With these numbers climbing even higher, that time that it takes to cook for those temperatures to get into the 120, 130 realm, it's shortened. It's significantly shortened. So even if you're just running into the gas station to grab this or grab that, don't do that. Dogs, kids, none of that. Look before you lock. That is going to be something that I'm probably going to be saying for the next week. It gets annoying to hear, but if it can simmer into your head and potentially save a kid, that's what we're here for. So with these numbers that are going to be this hot, it is going to be imperative that you look before you lock. So that's going to be the big story next week. We're also watching the tropics. We've been actually talking about this disturbance for the bulk of this week, actually, that chance for this to kind of organize itself. We hinted at this on, I think, Tuesday, that we weren't expecting this to be tropical in nature. It was probably going to be denoted as a subtropical system, and that's exactly what's happened. I mean, just from looking at it, you can kind of tell just the structure of it's a little bit different. All of the showers and thunderstorm, all of the cloud tops, they're all off to the east of the center of circulation, so that just lets you know it's a different type of instability. 45 miles per hour winds is what we're tracking with this system. It's moving off to the northwest, pretty slow. This is going to continue to be a maritime issue over the course of the next few days. We'll have to watch it because you can kind of see it doing that semicircle dance. We still expect it to kind of hold itself together. We'll be watching this into next week because it'll still be around in some form. But as of now, the next few days, this is just maritime, no worries. Meanwhile, our 7-day forecast is what it is, and it's going to be hot. Tomorrow's first alert for those showers and storms in the afternoon and evening. Rain chances lowered for Sunday, and then we have a nice little dry stretch Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But yeah, sunscreen, portable fan that you can put around your neck, water bottles with ice. Those are all the things that you're going to want to remember to do as these temperatures climb into that territory. And then our rain chances will be reintroduced to the forecast as we head towards Thursday and Friday. So it's Friday night, and y'all trying to get y'all life. We're not going to keep you here all evening, but we do have a newscast that starts in roughly 35 minutes. So if you're looking to find out, there's a lot of stuff going on with listen, I'm weather, so I'm not going to try to recap the stories, but I heard something about a jail. I heard something about other stuff. They're going to have updates for you tonight at 9 on Peachtree TV. Y'all have a fantastic Friday, and I will see you in 30 minutes.